Hello everyone. Today I'll be explaining how to knit these socks. These are for a baby of 4 years, and the materials that you will need to knit these socks are yarn. I'm using pink and white, and I'm going to use number 10 knitting needles. Also you will need a sewing needle, a stitch marker and a scissor. So let's start knitting these socks. To begin the socks, cast on 42 stitches and start with K1 P1 ribbing. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, continue making K1 P1 ribbing till the end of this row. Going to the second row of ribbing, completed the first row with purl 1, so again I will begin by making knit 1. So first stitch I will slip, then start with P1, you can either slip the first stitch or you can knit it, it's your choice. By slipping it gives a nice edge and it is very easy to stitch it later. So I usually slip the first stitch of every row. Continue to make knit 1 purl 1 ribbing for 7 rows in total. I have already done one row, I am in the second row. I will complete a total of 7 rows of knit 1 purl 1 ribbing. So I will be back after I finish my 7 rows of ribbing. 7 rows of ribbing is ready. Now to continue, I will be using white color. I am not breaking the pink yarn, I am just continuing with white color now. So first stitch I will slip, and from the second stitch I will join white color, and I will knit this complete row with white color. From this row onwards, we are keeping a simple stockinette pattern for the next 34 rows. I am making a similar socks. Here I have pink and white stripes, so I am in this part now. 4 rows of white, 4 rows of pink, and then I have kept 2 rows of white and 4 rows of pink alternating until I complete 34 rows. So even here I am going to do the same. I will continue with the stockinette for next 34 rows. You can keep the color pattern as per your choice, or you can make it in single color, or you can even use any simple design. So continue to knit for next 34 rows. Now as I am going to keep 4 rows of white color, it will be a large gap for the pink color. So you have to carry that pink color while you knit. First stitch is just to slip. While you knit the second stitch, just cross the pink yarn over the white one like this, just one time, and pick up white color again and continue to knit. In this way, the pink yarn will be carried up and it will be easy for your further rows. 34 rows in stockinette stitch are done. Now we will start to divide for the heel part. First I will knit 22 stitches. After 22 stitches, using the next 20 stitches we will make the heel. So for that, knit 1, make SKP, that is slip, knit and pass over. Then knit all the stitches until you have last 3 stitches remaining. Once we have last 3 stitches left, finish the row by making a knit 2 together and knit 1. So we have divided the stitches as 22 stitches here and 20 stitches for the heel. Now in those 20 stitches, we decrease 2 stitches by making SKP here and knit 2 together here. So now we have 18 stitches remaining. Now we will turn our work and we will purl only 18 stitches. No decreasing on the wrong side. Just turn and purl 18 stitches. 17 and 18. After making these 18 stitches, we will turn from here and we will continue the same decrease pattern. That is, slip 1, make SKP, S, slip, K knit and P pass over. Now again knit all the stitches until you have last 3 stitches remaining. When we have last 3 stitches, make a knit 2 together and knit 1. Now we have 16 stitches left. Turn and purl all the 16 stitches. On the right side, again we will continue with the same decrease pattern, that is knit 1 or slip 1, SKP, knit all the stitches till you have last 3 left, and with last 3 stitches make a knit 2 together and knit 1. And this we will continue until we have only 10 stitches left on this needle. So continue decrease pattern in the similar way and make one row of purl when you are on the wrong side, no decrease on the wrong side. We are not using these 22 stitches right now. On the previous row of the right side, I got 10 stitches, so that was my last row of decrease, and after that I did one row of purl. Now I will continue. I will make one row of knit with all these 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Now after these 10 stitches, we will have to pick up the stitches that we have dropped here. So we have, you can see these loops here, the stitches that we just slipped. We get these 5 stitches here, 5 stitches on this side and 5 stitches on this side. So every time we will pick up one stitch from each side. Now this is the right side, so I will pick up my first stitch from here, insert the needle under the 2 loops and knit a stitch from there. So this is one stitch increase. Now turn and purl all the stitches. You can again slip the first stitch and purl the remaining. So this is the last stitch of this row. After you finish making your last purl, you should again pick up one stitch from here. From here I will pick up the next stitch. Insert the needle purlwise under the 2 loops, yarn over and pull up one loop. So this is one extra stitch now. Turn to the right side. Knit all the stitches till end. You can slip the first stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Now we have 12 stitches as we picked up one stitch from the right side and one stitch on the wrong side. So this is the right side again. We will pick up next stitch. You can see this loop here. I will pick one stitch from this loop now. Okay. Now again continue to purl. Now we will be having 13 stitches. Then 12, 13. Now picking up the next stitch. Insert the needle purlwise under the 2 loops, yarn over and pick up one stitch. Okay. Now we have 14 stitches and you can see the shape is already started to form. Knit all the stitches and pick one more. And this picking up of stitches you will continue until you have 20 stitches back on your needle. We had 10 stitches and we will pick up 5 stitches from this side and 5 stitches from this side. We have already picked up 2 stitches from each side. Next 6 stitches we will pick up, 3 from here and 3 from here. So continue to pick up the stitches until you have 20 stitches on this needle. Now I have 19 stitches on my needle and I have to pick up my last stitch. This is on the wrong side. So I will pick up my last stitch now, which is here. Inserting the needle purlwise, wrap and pick up. So this is the last 20th stitch. After this stitch, we are not going to turn back. We will continue to purl all the stitches which are there on the left hand needle. Now we will get back to the stitch count of 42 again. Now coming to the right side, we are back to 42 stitch count now, and this is the heel formed. You can see the nice heel shaping here. See, from the sides, very neatly picked up stitches. And this neatness you can get when you slip the first stitch and then on the second stitch you start reducing. If you reduce at the first stitch, you won't get this type of neatness. So it's better to reduce on the second stitch and before the last stitch. That will give this type of neatness. Now from this row onwards, having 42 stitches, we will continue the stockinette pattern again for 30 rows. After 30 rows, we will continue with the toe shaping. So it is this part now. This is the heel part, and we will continue from this row till here, the last white pattern, which is 30 rows. After 30 rows, we will start to shape the toe. So continue to knit for the next 30 rows. I completed knitting 30 rows after the heel division. Now we will start with the toe shaping, and for that I have already cut my white yarn and I am going to use only the pink yarn for the toes. To begin, knit 19 and slip the first stitch, counting that as stitch number 1, 2, 18 and 19. After 19 stitches, we will make a decrease by making a knit 2 together. So this is half of our stitches that we had. Now after this stitch, I am going to place a marker. This is the exact center. Now next, I will make a escapee, one more decrease, slip, knit and pass over and knit all the remaining stitches. Going to the wrong side, purl all the stitches, no decrease. When you come to the marker, just slide the marker to the next needle and continue to purl all the stitches. Second row of decrease for the toes, right side. Now from this row, we will start to decrease the stitches from beginning and end also. So totally there will be 4 stitches decreased, 1 at the beginning, 2 at the middle and 1 at the end. So let's start with our first decrease. Slip 1, make an escapee, S, K and P. First decrease, knit all the stitches until you are 2 stitches away from the marker. Now make a knit 2 together, slide the marker, make an escapee, and continue to knit till you are 3 stitches away. Now make a knit 2 together and knit the last stitch. Going to the wrong side, purl all the stitches, no decrease. Third row of decrease on the right side. This row is similar to what we did in the previous row, that is decreasing 4 stitches in the row. First we will make escapee, then knit 2 together, again escapee and knit 2 together. And this we will continue until there are 20 stitches remaining on the needle, 10 on this side and 10 on this side. So continue to knit and decrease in the similar way, only on the right sides, and purl on the wrong side. Now I have 20 stitches left, 10 on the first part and 10 on the second part, that is before and after the decreases. So now I will divide the stitches 10 10 each. First I will knit 10 stitches, 9 and 10. Now I have 10 stitches on each of the needle. Now I will make the right sides to face each other and I will fold my work like this. So the right sides are facing each other and I'm on the wrong side now. At this point, I will take one more needle and I will start closing the stitches. This is the same way that I showed while joining the shoulders. So first, I will take one stitch purlwise from here and one stitch from here. Now we will use the first stitches, first stitch of the first needle and first stitch of the second needle and make them as one purl. So I will insert under the first stitch of the first needle and I'll continue the same needle to pick up the first stitch of second needle like this. Now make a purl stitch, slide both the loops off. This is your first stitch now. Continue one more stitch in the similar way. One stitch from here and take one stitch from here and one stitch from this needle, purl, drop both the loops. Now we have 2 stitches on the third needle and we will cast them off. Slide first stitch over the second stitch and cast off. This is like a normal cast off that you do on the third needle or on the right side needle. Now you will continue to do the same. One stitch from here, one stitch from here, purl both together and cast off by sliding first stitch over the second stitch like this. And this you will continue with all the stitches. Last stitch, cast off, pull this loop higher, leave a long tail to stitch on the sides. And this is done. You can see how neatly the joining is done. Okay, and this is the decrease part that we did by knit 2 together and making escapee. Now again turn to the wrong side and you have to stitch from one end to another end. So once you stitch the sides, the socks will be ready and you will be making another socks in the similar way. The only difference is while making the heel part. So this is the one that I have just shown you how to make and this is the one that I made earlier. While dividing the stitches for the heel, for one socks you make it at the beginning, that is use first 20 stitches for the heel, and for the other socks you can use the last 20 stitches for the heel. In this way you will make two different socks. Rest is same, that is the toe part is same for this pattern, only the difference will be for the heel part. And while you do that, you will have two socks like this. You can either keep the seams facing towards each other or facing away from each other. Like this, they face together. If you use it like this, they will face away from each other. So complete the stitching work and make another socks ready. The stitching work is done and the socks are ready. This is how it looks from the top. You can see the decreases here. This is the toe edging. After stitching it looks like this. And this is the back part, the heel. And this is how it looks from the sides. This is the stitch. So I hope you learned how to knit these socks and thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe for more videos.